Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEDGamesAU.
Welcome, friends of all designs, to Z Games. I am Paul, and joining me today are my friends Maylee.
That's me.
And Tobi.
Hey!
Actually, tonight on Z Games, we will be chatting news and that sort of thing, and then I'll be doing a review of Olija, the new Devolver Digital published game, and then we're going to have a chat about the multiplayer game Unrailed. So, exciting.
Got a good show planned.
But yeah, I almost changed the intro song.
Oh.
Because they had the announcement of not announcement, but the reveal of the Mass Effect trilogy today.
Oh.
And the little trailer had a real banger. I was like, yeah, let's just come into the big space epic. That's what we do. Maybe next time. That comes out in a while. Yeah, how are you two doing?
Oh, yeah, not too bad.
Doing good.
Oh, that's good.
I'm looking forward to the Unrailed conversation.
Yes, we all had a good play of that. What have you guys been doing? Anything exciting this week? Wild?
Oh God, wild and carefree. I've been playing way too much WoW. I'm getting burnt out. I'm playing so much WoW. I told Paul when I walked in. I just wanted to look at his smile.
as I hear, yes, burnout. Yes, it's less wild and carefree, more wild and carefree, I guess, in that case. Maylee, anything?
I've not been doing anything exciting.
Oh.
I feel like I need to make something up.
Yeah, do it.
Ooh.
What do we got?
Went skydiving.
And how was
that's
that?
Wild.
I fell into a pool of money. It was
Oh my
great.
God. So house. You're going to buy a house? What are you going to buy with all this money?
Video games.
Video games. Oh.
Yeah.
I just thought someone needs to develop AR skydiving so it gives you like targets to hit as you go down. Like pilot wings,
that would be
but
so
in
much
real
fun.
life. Okay, so before we get too distracted by pilot wings in real life, let's jump into the news brought to us by Evie this week.
This week in gaming news, IKEA have teamed up with Asus to create a new line of gaming furniture. Back in September last year, IKEA announced their partnership with Asus Republic of Gamers. Since then, we have been expecting a show of products for customers in China before they launch in the Western market later this year. So far, the range includes everything from gaming chairs, adjustable desks, streaming equipment, headset stands, as well as a CPU stand with its own casters. These products are designed specifically for gamers with a low budget, costing around $200 for a gaming chair. There will be a link to the full range on the Z Games Facebook page at ZEDGamesAU if you'd like to have a peek. Steam Game Festival is about to kick off. The indie developer-focused event will showcase over 500 playable demos, not to mention a heap of live stream chats and panel discussions with the developers themselves. The idea of the Steam Game Festival is to provide indie developers with an opportunity to showcase their titles after the 2020 Game Developers Conference, GDC, was cancelled. Steam Game Festival is scheduled to start on February 4th at 5 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time and will run until February the 10th. To access the festival, just log into your Steam account. This event, of course, is completely free. Netflix and Legendary team up on Tomb Raider TV animated series. This announcement was made on the 28th of January by the streaming Goliath, saying, "The most iconic heroine in video games is jumping to animation. Tomb Raider is a new anime series from Legendary following Lara Croft after the events of the video game reboot trilogy." This series will be written by Tasha Howe, who is also behind Netflix's Witcher prequel, Blood Origin. Tasha will be joined by executive producers Dimitri M. Johnson, Stephen Bugaj, and Howard Bliss from DJ2 Entertainment, the production company that made Sonic the Hedgehog film. Netflix has yet to disclose a date for the release. The week in gaming releases. On February 2nd, Apex Legends Season 8 Mayhem, Control Ultimate Edition on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, Cultist Simulator on the Nintendo Switch. On February 4th, Odysseus, Cosmos and His Robot Quest on the Nintendo Switch, Werewolf, The Apocalypse, Earthblood on PC, PS5, Xbox X, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. On February 5th, Nioh Remastered, Nioh 2 Remastered, the Nioh Complete Edition on PC and PlayStation 5, Kinetic Edge on PC, ReZero Starting Life in Another World on PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. On February 6th, Amp Stat on PC, and on February 10th, Scarlet Hood and the Wicked Wood on PC. That's all this week in gaming news.
Thank you for that, Evie. I have to say Scarlet Hood and the Wicked Wood, or whatever, certainly sounds like a euphemism to me. But,
Oh, Paul. I will say that I'm looking forward to Neo on PC.
yeah.
Just change subject there.
We some people. Also on Netflix stuff. Also, apparently the Legend of Zelda show that was being made, that's disappeared now.
I didn't know that
for
was
reasons.
happening.
It was, and then apparently it wasn't officially, and that was the problem. And blah 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 blah. But
I wonder why.
yeah. And then another Steam festival, which they're doing a lot of now. They kind of really replaced the role of consumer events like your PAXs and everything like that, where we go and play a bunch of games. Now it's do it on your own computer, which is, I mean, yeah, they have so many demos available.
Oh god.
I think the first time they did it, I played about 100 games in a weekend.
Oh wow.
I remember hearing about this.
I was like, yeah, it's just blasting through. I don't have anything to do with this life. My kid wasn't born yet. What am I supposed to do? Not play 100 games in a weekend?
Well, absolutely. Isn't that a normal weekend?
Yeah, and they actually just finished up another game festival. They just
God.
had an adventure game festival like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah, and I kind of missed it. But I bet 90, if not all of those games are also included in this festival.
Probably.
Well, what's your goal for this festival?
Look, because a lot of games recycle each time, I get to wipe out a lot of them to begin with, unless there's an updated thing and I want to check it out because it was interesting. So, yeah, I don't have a goal.
No.
I just have a browse,
Damn.
see what's there, what's exciting.
I'm going to hold you to a number. 100?
No.
50?
50.
No,
50.
that's
50 is fair.
no.
Hold you to
Let's just take it casually. I have a child now,
Yep.
and I have an exciting community radio position which I need to.
Love it. Love it. Oh, man. I must admit, it's something that I haven't jumped into yet, so I'm looking forward to trying out some of these new bits and pieces of all the bits and pieces coming out.
Yeah, I remember in the first one they had the demo for Spiritfarer, which came out last year, and my friend James, he downloaded it, and it was really weird. It didn't really play properly. And he's like, "And why do I control the cat?" Like, you don't. What are you doing? That's how we discovered it had multiplayer, and for some reason, I think it was because he's a virtual reality developer.
Oh yeah.
And because his headset was plugged in, it thought the headset was player 1.
Oh god.
So he was playing player 2, which is the cat, which is wonderful, but you can't go very far just as the cat. You need the main character as well. So yeah, but they worked out that stuff by release. It was all good.
I love it.
Okay.
Man.
And the other like really big news that broke yesterday was that Google has now dropped game development. They're just out. They have said, nope. We hired all these people, including Jade Raymond and stuff, like big famous people, and they never made a game. They closed all their internal development, and those people are apparently being found other jobs in Google if they want them.
Seems
But yeah,
But does
like
Stadia
a
still
weird
exist?
decision.
Stadia still exists, but they'll have no exclusive made games themselves. And Stadia is probably going to become more of a back-end technology that they send to other people. Because the technology is cool. Google just has no interest in actually partaking in the games industry.
Yeah.
Which was kind of obvious. We still can't use it. I don't know if xCloud's available here yet, but it's supposed to be very soon. I think at least a beta's open. Anyway, streaming future, whatever. All good. Now, we're going to jump into a review of Olija. Or Olija. I was very happy because the game is Japanese themed, but it has a L in the name.
I remember you mentioned this.
But thankfully, They pronounced it in the trailer. I'm like, oh, good, it is. Because I don't. If this is supposed to be Japanese, it's not. Anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, from Skeleton Crew Studio comes a tale of high adventure. A man shipwrecked in search of his crew and a way home. A mysterious princess named Olija, and a magic harpoon. And while the game is credited to Skeleton Crew Studio, the game was primarily developed by a single creator, Thomas Olsen. Olija is a 2D platformer with a focus on movement, combat, and storytelling. What I'll highlight immediately is that unlike most of its contemporaries, Olija is not especially interested in beating the player into submission. Compared to Celeste, Dendara, Hollow Knight, etc., most characters won't find themselves dying often and struggling for long. Much of the game is more interested in storytelling set pieces than difficult platforming or combat. In many ways, it aligns more with older cinematic platformers like Another World, or Out of This World, depending on which country you're from. While the game does feature non-interactive cutscenes, some of the best moments are interactive story segments, where the player controls seamlessly blends with narrative elements. Pixel art is the order of the day. Big, chunky pixels that leave your imagination to do a lot of work, and some great over-animated characters. The world design is very Japanese, but also otherworldly. The protagonist, Faraday, is a stranger in these waters, which may seem appropriate as the lead developer is French, working and living in Kyoto, Japan. He's also responsible for the music, which is a similar mashup of flamenco, lo-fi, and traditional Japanese music. After a wonderfully animated intro where your character is shipwrecked, you'll go on an adventure exploring a number of islands. There are typically a couple of choices of where to go first, and the levels have various splits, but the game progresses in a mostly linear fashion. You can revisit levels to find collectibles you may have missed, but there's not much reason other than that. There is a hub you return to between levels, where you and other castaways that you discover will build a settlement, which you can upgrade and gain access to new and improved equipment. It's simple, and you'll max out the options quickly, but it has a lot of character, and I always enjoyed returning to see what had evolved while I was gone. There's even a vendor that will make you a number of hats, with magical properties beyond just style. Before embarking on each adventure, you can choose a hat to don, which will affect your chosen playstyle. The game perhaps has too many hats, as I found I hadn't even experimented with them all before I had reached its conclusion. The game's main draw, however, is the magical harpoon. The magical harpoon the protagonist wields for most of the duration. Its gimmick is that once embedded in something, normally an enemy, you can teleport to it. It's also used to explore the world and uncover secrets. In combat, however, is where the game truly shines. You have a wide gamut of tools at your disposal, from your harpoon to fists, plus a collection of secondary weapons, and the controls are very simple to master. At one point in the game, there was a boss fight with multiple bosses. This is normally a point in most games where I start to groan with impending frustration. In Olija's case, juggling and teleporting between the bosses felt so simple and satisfying, I actually wished the whole game's combat had been tuned to that level. As a mostly one-person project, Olija is extremely impressive, but it suffers as well. As mentioned several times, the game is not overtly difficult, but the combat really rewards some more considered play. A difficulty mode, or a New Game Plus, would have been great to see, especially with the game's short nature, about 4 hours for most players. Also, once the game ends, that's it. You cannot reload the save. Since you've only just unlocked your full arsenal later in the game, it would have been nice to be able to load back into that point and play around a little more. The game's available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I played on Switch, and the game will run you about $22, depending on your platform. And that's the gist of Olija.
Yeah, looking at the images online, because as you were describing it, it brought up so many lovely images in my head, and I was like looking at it, and you're really right, it is a very chunky bit style.
Oh yeah, and occasionally it zooms out,
okay,
and so that becomes, pixel density is obviously higher then, and I was a bit worried about gameplay effects at that. It's not really an issue, it's normally done for cinematic purposes. The game's really readable, it's great. Like, my favorite thing was when you're fighting like a group of people, mobs coming towards you, there's this guy's firing projectiles, you hurl your harpoon at him, but you just keep fighting the guys around you. When they launch their projectile at you, you just teleport over them, skipping the projectile.
Oh, that's a
take
nice
it,
mechanic.
and it works very well. And I didn't want to describe all the other weapons, but with the exception of two that just kind of do the same thing, I didn't really understand why we needed two of a certain thing. It just gives you a lot of variety of stuff. And that boss fight I was talking about, where it's multiple enemies, I was just like, this is where it needs to be. And that's where if they brought in more developers, because it is a studio, but it's primarily just this one guy's passion project. Like, just someone to come and like put in some different combat. So even just like a little endless mode to fight stuff at the end or anything. I mean, that's all developer work. It's not like just a thing. But for a $22 game, for 4 hours without really a reason to replay, it's a hard sell. But if you are someone that wants that experience but finds like the other games I mentioned like too hard to enjoy, that like this is where that is. It gets
That's
really good
me.
storytelling.
You're talking to me.
Yeah, I'm looking directly at you, Maylee.
Yes.
Like, you know how you tried to play Hollow Knight and then you just cried.
I'm bad at video games. Yes.
And I think most people, like, it's not, I don't mean it's a cakewalk, but I'm an average platform player. Like, I can for reference, I can get through Celeste, but I can't do, like, the B-side tapes. I just don't even try. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm
So
out.
this is like easy mode compared to
something like that, yes.
Okay.
In fact, there's only
perfect.
one scene that I can think of that has a particularly challenging platforming element. The platforming normally isn't trying to get you. And even some of the combat stuff. You'll have combat scenes where it's not really about combat, it's about storytelling, which is kind of cool. Thomas has done a lot. It's just, so it can be a bit expensive for most people, I think.
But can you play Fashion Wars? I want to know, did you keep a hat on because it looked really awesome?
What's the best hat?
What's the best hat?
They're actually all kind of, because they're all, a little bit old style. So big hats with big feathers. And that's kind of fun. By the end, I was wearing a weird mask because it made me look creepy.
There's no fez?
No fez.
Oh, damn. And as Evie's typed in, there's no such thing as too many hats, Paul.
No, you can't quite. It's
I love it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
It does just become, it's like, it's for a very specific niche, but I think that niche is going to be served very well by it. And I do want to talk about like the cool moments where you're still controlling, but it's actually a cutscene and you're just moving it forward by doing the game actions. But all of them are spoilers. And it's not it's not like an intricate story, it's very fairy tale. But it's also, that's the point. So I don't want to say, oh, wasn't it cool when they did this? By the way, now you know that's going to happen. That's how it's going to play out.
So all the cool parts are in spoiler territory, so be aware that the game is a really good game. Just don't tell anybody about it if they want to.
Yeah,
You just have to trust you.
Just enjoy. The combat is satisfying, and I think there is a demo available actually. So
And
that's always worth
I'm
it.
intrigued by the music description.
The little
for
mashup. It is
Mako,
quite
lo-fi,
slight, and traditional Japanese music. It is quite slight in the background. I was trying to find a track so we could play it, on the radio, but
where music is heard.
I think because I was asking the PR whether they had like an OST that was available. I don't think the developer, because he's just doing it all, I don't think he's like recorded the music out. It's just in game. There is no OST at the moment. You've got to plug in the console and record it off there. Don't fight anything. Just listen to the song.
Oh man.
Okay.
Hey.
Now we're going to have a little chat about Unrailed.
Missed a chance.
Yeah.
We're gonna take this conversation off the rails.
Oh.
You know,
missed
since I'm the noisy takes all the talking, I think it's time for Maylee to describe what Unrailed is.
Okay, I can do that. Unrailed is a co-op game where you and your friends, if you choose to bring them along,
Or regard them as friends.
yes,
There you
whoever you and
others.
You and
If you
workmates.
are taking a train across the land through various climates and against various creatures, and it gets very stressful very quickly. So does the pressure to describe this game. I swear I played it. It's just
Seems so
So,
long
yes,
ago.
last weekend Steam had a free weekend, so we decided as the Z Games crew to jump in and have a little bit of 4-player online, since, I don't know, but you haven't got to do 4-player in person for ages. I didn't even realize this game had online, so I was very happy.
I also haven't had building trains in a long time.
Yeah.
It's nice to get back into that.
So I had played it once before at an event. I owned it because of Humble Bundle, but I never played the version I'd owned. because I'm a key hoarding dragon. But I'd only played like the short match where it's just you got the train and you got to build a track and get to the station. And that was, that's straightforward. We were playing on easy because we didn't know what we were doing. In fact, half of us at the beginning hadn't even done the tutorial. So
I refused to do tutorials ever.
It was so fun watching us all just kind of run around going, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
I did not know the controls.
Because it's quite mechanical. The controls are very simple. There's really only one button in directions.
Yeah.
But you don't know your interactions because you have to say, go pick up an axe, and then when you walk up to trees, you'll cut down the trees, and then they use that wood as part of building tracks or building bridges or whatever. But because I only played that simple mode, I didn't understand that the real meat was the endless mode, which is what's default. And I almost didn't want to do it because I was like, I don't want to play like an endless thing where we lose all our progress. And I was wrong.
You were wrong.
You were very wrong.
Where the meat of the game is. Between each level, you get upgrades and you choose all the stuff you do. But also, you can save. So we didn't have to sit and do the entire game in one sitting or whatever. We just have a save game from where we got up to. And if you fail, you can just go back to the last save game you had. So you might lose 1 or 2 stops you got to. But I'm like, man, this game is satisfying now. And we're getting all yelly at each other, and everyone's learning their roles. The train's on fire again. Get the bucket.
I got the first sit out watching everybody else play.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so much fun. That was so much fun, just watching you guys all run around going, what do we do now? And watching people just pick up things and put them down and pick them up and put them down and pick them up and put them down. And not quite. And that whole learning curve was really wonderful to watch. Yeah. And it meant that when I got in there, I knew what to do.
Yeah, it's got a lot of nice little things. As you at the end of each level, you buy upgrades, and one of them is an engine upgrade. But that engine upgrade really just takes you to the next biome. But each biome has a few little twists of gameplay to add.
Oh yeah.
And where we ended up, I think, is when they start going crazy with the biomes, which was the Halloween biome.
The lava.
Oh god,
replaced
the lava.
The water.
Yeah, lava instead of water. You couldn't build bridges over water with wood anymore because they burned.
Iron.
So you have to build iron. And there's also ghosts that can possess you and explosive pumpkins.
There's a lot going on.
I mean, it was quite literally a train wreck.
Maybe we should have upgraded the train a bit more before we advanced to the next
We
thing.
put
We could have
upgrades
done
into
that.
the most important thing, which was the
Explosives.
dynamite cart.
You and your dynamite.
I don't think I used it successfully once, and
Yeah,
I killed myself.
It actually
multiple
wasn't that
times.
useful most of the time.
Yeah.
Although I did
was
kill a
fun.
Yeti with it.
Yes.
See?
So
Worth
good to
it.
have dynamite.
It was worth for that. But I must admit, I really enjoyed that the social game with all my new work friends.
I was a penguin. That was good.
Oh yeah, you could choose your own skin.
Yeah. And the whole game's played sort of isometric. It's big voxely blocks, the whole thing. So it's very readable. And it plays, when you're online, it plays the same as if you were in person because it sort of keeps the screen trapped around the train. So if it goes too far forward, you'll lose things you've left behind and you can't run too far ahead of the train. But it was a satisfying little...
I had a sheep that I carried.
Oh, yeah.
Several.
You carried them for a long while, yeah.
And then
Please
blew
tell
it
me you blow it up.
I did blow it up.
Oh, no.
Well, I was worried I was going to leave it behind, but I didn't. I
Yeah.
blew
You
it
just
up.
killed it instead.
Yeah.
That's good.
Much
Man.
better.
I must admit, I loved the music in it.
Oh, it's so good.
It's got some fun. We'll have some following up after this, actually.
Yeah, they're a bopper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really it's when it comes down to it, I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
where can we get it these days?
It's on Switch. It's on PC. We're playing on PC, but they are adding crossplay, and I'm not sure about other platforms. So if you want to vamp for 30 seconds, while I type in
I think
that.
that the experience I had playing on the PC was good.
Yes, but we had a free weekend. That was when we played it. We all got a wonderful free weekend, and that was great. So we could all jump in quite happily. But also the different types of what are they called? The train carriages. You could get
Yes.
all those different types of carriages, and you'd upgrade your
We
carriages.
did mention
as
the
well.
engine, we mentioned the dynamite, but there was also
Like the manufacturing of I guess the thing that you're doing is you're collecting wood and ore, and you're putting them in a train cart that makes more rails. So you run ahead of the train and put rails down. I guess we never actually said that.
And
That's the
collect
game.
keys.
better production, better storage.
Yeah.
all the cards.
But shut up now, because
Okay.
I've got the words
are
that we got.
done.
The words are it's on everything.
All hail, Paul.
It's on everything. It's on
yeah.
Switch, Xbox, PlayStation.
Wherever
Oh,
you
wow.
It's even on Linux and Mac.
Oh,
Yeah.
Google
so hopefully
Stadia?
well, Google Stadia hasn't left us.
Oh.
It's just terminal.
sorry.
And in
But
fact,
yeah.
for us, it's never come. So that's
Yeah.
fine. This is Z Games. Paul, got Maylee and Toby here. You're wondering if we're going to leave it for you to fill in again, weren't you?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You mixing it up.
Well, that's what we start. We start our harmonies soon. We go. So I have no, yeah, Paul, Toby, Maylee, Z Games.
Oh my God.
Boom, boom.
I've got that as part of as a friend group. When we say goodbye, we harmonise as we leave.
Oh, very nice.
It's so nice. I recommend you try it. THC with your friends. No.
Can you harmonise with yourself?
Huh? No, I've always wanted to do that throat warbling harmonisation.
I don't throat wobble. I hum whistle.
Oh, Paul, showing off.
I try to do the sound from Poltergeist. And it's how I call my dogs, because no one else whistles like that. 'Cause it's a stupid way to whistle. But I like it. So video games.
Woo!
Video game.
Video game.
But that actually brings us to the end of video games.
That was like 5 seconds.
Video games is over.
Oh no! Back to real life.
Back to real life. So thank you for joining us on Z Games this week. I've been Paul.
I've been Maylee.
I've been Toby.
We all took the cue that time. Fantastic. And we will catch you all next time. Thanks, everybody.
Love you.
Thanks for listening to Z Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.